Hello, this is Nicole. It is Thursday, July 23rd, 2026 at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we're in one of my portfolios where I'm analyzing an ES futures and futures options position that I have on in my portfolio. And I thought I'd click record in case you guys found this interesting. We're looking at a one-year daily chart of the E-mini S&P 500 futures index. And we can see here that the index is currently trading off 42 points, or roughly negative 0.56% this morning. Taking a look at the one-year daily chart, we can see that over the course of the last few months, the index has really just been kind of chopping around just shy of all-time highs, and this morning is no different. We had Google report earnings last night, and let's just take a look at what Google is doing here. It's trading off by roughly 20-ish points or so. And I did take a look at those results. Earning results were phenomenal. However, the market is concerned with the amount of money that Google is spending for its AI build out. And that seems to be weighing on many of these tech stocks, which really contributed to the strength of the overall indices in recent months. That, in addition to a tone change coming out of the Federal Reserve as Kevin Warsh now takes the helm, I think has markets just basically in stall mode. It's unclear what spending is going to mean with AI. It's also unclear with what policy might be going forward out of the Federal Reserve. So I think everybody is just kind of taking a pause. In addition to that, the AI trade, which really led to the rally in the indices, really kind of became very dramatic. And so I think a little bit of sideways price consolidation and even a pullback would be very appropriate. And that's what we're seeing. We're just seeing consolidation with a lot of dispersion within the constituents that make up the index, meaning a lot of the big tech names are seeing a lot of money come in and out almost on a daily basis as money rotates in and out of these individual names within the sectors, as well as into other sectors of the indices, okay? So a lot of dispersion, a lot of realized volatility within individual names as the index, especially the S&P 500, just kind of chops sideways and doesn't do much. All right, so let's take a look at this position. It's a little bit of a stinker, but I'm okay with that. So let's head over to the Analyze section of the software here. I am long one ES futures contract to express long exposure to S&P 500 index products. I always like to carry long exposure to the S&P 500 index in my portfolios. And in this particular portfolio, I'm expressing that by being long one ES futures contract here. And that is notionally equivalent to being long 500 shares of SPY. Okay, so quite a bit of delta here for this portfolio, but it's sized appropriately for me. And I like to keep these positions sized appropriately so that when we see selling and price moves against me for a little bit, I am not worrying about that in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so let's take a look here. I purchased one ES futures contract at 75.89 spot 25. Unfortunately, that's higher than where we're trading right now at around 7,500. As a result, if you take a look here at the blue box, this position is showing a loss of approximately $4,700. In order to try to repair this strategy, as well as build out structures in the portfolio that could be monetized later on, I decided to enter into an at-the-money 1/2 call ratio spread, where I bought a 7,400 strike call and I sold two 7,500 strike calls against that. And that's a covered position because I'm long one ES futures contract. And this is what that did to the overall position. I brought in a credit of $2,000 for entering into that position. And this is what the covered position now looks like, okay? So my break even is moved down at expiration to around 74, 75-ish, okay? Where prior to entering into this position, the break even was the purchase price, okay, at 75 89.25 because I was just long one simple contract. So I was able to bring the break even down. And if we were to land in this price range here, by the time these options expire, which let's check it out, is there's the position there, August 14th of 2026, this position would actually make money. It'd make $2,000-ish, okay? So that's what I did. That's the position that I have on. And currently, you can see that it's showing a loss, the T+0 line here, okay, of $4,600-ish. Okay, let's look at this structure individually. So I'm going to deselect the long futures contract. And this is what the 1/2 call ratio spread looks like as an individual trade or structure. All right. I'll just move this here. Actually, I'm going to minimize this just to help you guys see this a little bit better. Some of these graphics are a little bit harder to show in this platform relative to something like an option strat. But okay, so with this structure here, just the 1/2, we can see that the max profit is at the 7,500 strike here, and we would be showing lower $7,000 on that individual structure. And if we traded down, of course, we'd keep the credit of $2,100, okay? And if we traded up, the structure would be showing a loss around 76.50-ish, okay? Now, we're seeing selling, all right? So the overall structure is doing its job. If we wanted to, we could kind of work with what's happening with prices and make some adjustments to the structure in order to create what I'm looking at here is the potential to create a fully financed or free 100-point wide on each wing, symmetric call butterfly, or an asymmetric bullishly biased call butterfly for free. So how would I look at doing that? So let's head over to the risk profile section of the software. So I brought in $2,100 in credit for this. Okay, and that equates to a price, a credit price as quoted in the software of $40. And that's because when you get filled at $40 for a 1/2, we take that multiplier and we multiply it times 50 because that's the multiplier for ES futures options, and that gives you $2,000. Okay, so if I wanted to spend $2,000 to buy a call option to butterfly off this 1/2 call ratio spread, I would have that entire structure on basically for no cost. Okay, so if we wanted to make this a symmetric butterfly, this is 100 points wide, 74, 7,500. If I wanted to go up to 7,600 and purchase that call option, if I could get that done for $40, or in this case, more specifically, 43 is what I actually got filled at. But if I wanted to do that for $40, we could have on a symmetric call butterfly wrapped around the money for zero cost. So what would that look like? Okay, so I went ahead and populated that because I'm pricing out these adjustments. And that's what that would look like. Okay, to the upside, there's no risk. In fact, we'd be locking in a minimum gain of $100. And to the downside, same thing because it's symmetric. And max profit on this would be around $5,000 if we were trading at $7,500 at expiration. And if we did that, we now have an uncovered long futures position that we could sell more premium against. I could go out in a different expiration or the same expiration and look to enter into a different structure that would be a covered call type structure here and just continue to build out this portfolio. Okay, now currently the 7,600 strike call is trading at 53.50. So if I were to buy this to make this symmetric, Okay, the overall cost of the structure would be $575. So if we're trading outside of the profit 10 expiration, that would be our max loss as we legged into this structure. So I want to change this to 40 because if I step away from my desk this morning, I might enter into a limit order to buy the 7,600 strike call at 40. And that order would get executed if we saw further weakness in the markets, allowing me to enter into this position while I'm not sitting here at my computer, okay? Now, what if I wanted to be a little bit more opportunistic? What if I wanted to create an asymmetric or unbalanced call butterfly that's a little bit more bullishly biased? And I felt like, well, maybe we'll see some further selling. I could change the strike down to 75.75, for example, where we would have a 100-point wide call debit spread with only a 75-point wide credit spread, creating a structure for which there's no loss to the downside. If we got filled at 40, right, we'd be locking in a minimum profit of 100. Your max profit to the upside is around $5,000-ish. And if S&P rallies before expiration and blows through it to the upside, we're still locking in a profit of $1,350. Okay? So you can kind of play around with that and fish some of these orders. And again, the whole point would be we'd be building structures when we get price accommodation for selling call premium against core positions that we're going to hold on to in the portfolio anyway. Okay, so one of the problems with selling call premium against long exposure is this concept of, convexity versus concavity. So when we sell call premium and markets are extremely bullish, it isn't always advantageous because you're capping your upside. Okay, the upside in this particular trade, the 1x2 against the long futures contract, is capped, in this case, at 26.37.50. Now, this is a bit of a repair for what began as just a simple long futures contract. But look at all the risk that you're taking to the downside, okay? And that is the trade-off for entering into covered call positions. You have reduced cost basis, an improved probability of success, and the trade-off is you're capping your upside for bigger downside risk. And that's what's called concavity. And in options markets, what you want to aim for is more convexity, the opposite. But the trade-off there is a reduced probability of success. And in markets like this, entering into positions that have convexity is going to be a losing proposition generally, unless you're super good at picking direction on the daily. And to be honest, I think if anybody is telling you they can predict the future, especially in these markets, you might want to run the other direction. Okay, so heading back over here, just to summarize, let's take a look at what the S&P is doing. Yeah, we're getting a little bit more bearish. And I'm actually going to be away from my desk prior to the cash open. And these are futures products, so they're currently trading. So what I'm going to do is, I want to get opportunistic. I'm going to send through this order here. And by doing that, I'm going to create a fully financed, bullishly skewed, off-centered call butterfly here. And if that gets filled and I come back, that means S&P has sold off even more. And I will look to enter into a different covered call position in the futures contract at that time, probably within the same expiration, to kind of build off of this structure here. Okay? So I just wanted to introduce this concept to you. It's a little bit more of a creative approach to building out these structures. And it can be, kind of fun, even though in this scenario here, this overall position in my portfolio isn't doing well. I'm kind of down on the position here. It's sized appropriately. And the way I'm framing this is I don't mind seeing further downside because my portfolio can handle it, right? And I have other positions that I built out in the portfolio that do okay in this scenario. But it's almost, a little bit fun because you can frame this in such a way that you get to build out these different structures in the portfolio. So just wanted to share that with you. And I hope you're having a good summer. I hope you're not getting chopped up in this sideways trade. And as always, thanks for listening. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute investment, financial, or trading advice. No recommendations to buy or sell securities are being made. All examples are hypothetical and for illustration only. All investments carry risk, including the possible loss of principal. Options trading involves significant risk and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Consult a qualified financial advisor before implementing any strategy and review your financial situation, risk tolerance, costs, fees, and tax implications. Options trading requires broker approval, and not all strategies are permitted in all account types. Returns shown are hypothetical and not guaranteed. Market conditions can change quickly, and results will vary based on market performance, timing, and execution. Read characteristics and risks of standardized options from your broker or at www.optionsclearing.com before trading options.